So I'm obviously presenting the final project. The four main areas that we had to go over and explain was our main question that we needed to get answered, how we collected our data, the results of our data, and like the analysis of it, and then our conclusion. So my question or topic, whatever you want to call it, that I wanted to get answered is: are males or females better at identifying and differentiating the gender of handwriting? So I think this is valuable to anyone who is in the forensic field, or just anyone in general who wants to know which gender is better at differentiating the gender of handwriting, especially in like fields like forensic, where you need to know who statistically which gender is better, like to hire for special cases, like being able to tell if like a note was written by a male or a female, which kind of goes into like how it can be used. So, for instance, you have a note, but you don't know who it's from. So you want to ask like your male or female friend for help, but you need to know which one's statistically better or like generally better at identifying handwriting. So my computer's been glitching, so it might take a minute. Okay, there it goes. Why did I choose this topic? I chose this topic because I'm eventually going into the forensics field. I'm going into forensic psychology, and I thought that this would be useful to know just in case like I ever needed help and like needed to ask like a friend or a colleague or another worker to help me with identifying the gender of handwriting. I didn't get any background information when I was collecting my data, which we're going into now. So my hypothesis was there's no difference in the level for my null. There's no difference in the levels of females and males that can identify the gender of handwriting. And my alternative, what I think is there's a higher proportion of females that can identify the gender of handwriting than males. I think this because I just think females are going to be better at telling handwriting, since typically have like the neater handwriting than males do. And like with moms being able to tell like their kids, so that's just why I thought that. So the types of data, so my qualitative data was male versus females, and then my quantitative data was the amount of people who did the form, which was 60. So my population would have been I posted my survey or questionnaire on Facebook, so the population that was available to take the survey was my 645 friends, whereas my sample would have been the 60 male and female friends that I had who actually took the form, which is also my sample size. So my sampling method, I chose a convenience one. It just seemed to make the most sense. So I made a Google form and posted it on Facebook asking my male and female friends to fill out the form. The type of questions, they were all basically, I had 6 friend and family members of mine, 3 female, 3 male, write Page County in cursive, and for each question all I did was I asked the person filling out my Google form to just identify whether they believed it was a male's handwriting or a female's. And then also my first question was, please identify whether you're a male or female. So my data, the mean score for females was 15.5, and you get your mean by adding all the scores up and then dividing by the number of scores that you had. So I had 30 females take it, so I added all the scores up and then divided them by 30, and I got 15.5. My median score for females was 15. My mode was 10, and then my range, so I did have a few females get a 30 out of 30, so get it completely correct, and then I had one get a 5, or like a couple get a 5 out of 30, so that was my lower, and so my range was like 25-ish. And then my outlier, I only had one female get a 25 out of 30, which was kind of odd because it's kind of a higher score. And then for my males, my mean was 14.4 out of 30, so that was like the mean score. My median was also 15 out of 30. My mode, so the mode is like what you have most of, and I'm in the males. I mostly had 10s out of 30s and 20 out of 30s. I'm pretty sure it was both like 6 each that they showed up, and then the range for my males was like 20 out of 30, and then my outlier for males as well was 25 out of 30. Again, this is taking forever. I'm sorry. So, for my results and charts, my test statistic would have been Z statistic, so normal. I performed the 2-prop Z test. My p-value was 0.4999, and I got that from putting my information into the information from the chart into my calculator into the 2-prop Z test. I'm gonna explain the chart. So my chart, I did kind of like a school method. So anybody who got 15 out of 30 or above passed. And for males and females both, I had 18 out of 30 people passed the test. So that's 60%. And my confidence level was 95%. My significance level was 0.05, which you get from the 95%. And comparing 0.4999 to 0.05, it is greater than, so we have to fail to reject the null because we don't have significant enough results to fail it. So implications, it shows that females aren't exactly smarter or better in a way of identifying the gender of handwritings, and that both male and females could learn more things to better themselves in that area. How could I improve this study? If I were to do this again, I would probably get a bigger sample size and collect it in a way to where it wasn't optional. So that way I could get like more results and more people to look at to get like a better result and a better analysis and a better answer for the question, because I feel like my sample size was so small and that it didn't represent the question and the answer like it should. Also, I'm sorry, these are turning slow. I don't know what's happening with them. So bias, I think my data is biased because of the sampling method that I chose. Since I chose convenient sampling method, the data gathered isn't an accurate representation of all males and females' ability to identify the gender of handwriting, which is kind of what I just said. I don't think that it represents like males and females, like their ability to identify the gender of handwriting, and I don't think it represented, like it gave me a solid answer. For my conclusion, I put, my personal conclusion is, based off the scores and data, I believe females and males are equally capable of identifying the gender of handwriting to a certain extent. Neither is better than the other. Even with like out of the 18 out of 30 for both, they both pretty much got the same scores in that, so they were pretty much equal like throughout like the whole identifying the gender of handwriting. So my proper conclusion is, in conclusion, there is not significant evidence to reject the claim that males and females are equally capable of identifying the gender of handwriting. And I believe that that is all. Or at least I think. Yeah, okay. So that's my project. Thank you for listening to me.